Yep.
Pretty happy with this new space.
Yeah, looks nice. Needs a little.
It's pretty Marvel heavy, to be honest.
Oh wait, you can't paint in here.
It's pretty Marvel heavy.
It's Marvel. Well,
We need some DC, but
I mean, when one company was kicking the other's ass for so long. Oh,
we do have some Arrow over there, I think.
yeah.
We got Percy Jackson,
Game of Thrones.
and Miraculous and Game of Thrones, but otherwise it's pretty Marvel heavy. So, but I dig it. I dig it. It's let's go episode 1 in the new digs. We're back. Capes, Cowls, and Conversations. We took a couple weeks there, got some new studio space, got it set up. We're behind on producing episodes. We're not behind on actually consuming content, really. We have episodes coming on Brave New World. Yes, it's late, but we have it coming. We have episodes coming on our Road to Born Again series, even though Born Again has started. We're going to continue down that road with the Luke Cage episode. We have Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man coming, and today we're going to talk about that Invincible penultimate episode along with the 3 preceding. We talked about the first 3 episodes, but now we're going to talk about 4, 5, 6, and the penultimate episode, number 7.
Is that Spider-Man?
So, yeah.
When did you get that?
Yesterday, day before.
Oh, nice.
So, but Cameron's enjoying the new digs here because we've not recorded anything in the studio yet. This is the first time, and so we're loaded up with Funko Pops and posters and Comic-Con pictures, and it's going to get a little fun in here. We do have the camera set up, but we don't have the program ready to go to record. So we're not in video quite yet, but video is coming. And in the meantime, like, share, subscribe, follow, ring the bell for notifications. And
we promise to have video before GTA 6.
Sure. I have no idea when that's coming, but it's coming soon. We actually have a graphic designer working on some frames for the pictures and stuff like that. We'll be ready very shortly to start shooting video for this to become a video podcast. And in the meantime, we're going to play catch up on a whole lot of stuff. So let's talk about Invincible.
We need the
4, 5, 6, and 7.
We need the theme song loaded up on that thing, so when you press it, when you go to say it, you could just have the da 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 da.
And then I would get copyright strike. So
yeah, but for the best gag on in the universe,
yeah. Okay.
I take that as you don't think that's a good gag.
I don't want to have to edit things out of an episode. No.
What did you think of the Powerplex opening? Where he kept saying the name
over and over again, and it just kept putting it on the screen. I do think it's funny when they reference they intentionally reference the word Invincible to start the episodes.
My favorite's still the one from season 2 where they have Mark meeting his brother for the first time, and he doesn't say Invincible, and they cut it off the swearing, like, oh, we're gonna cut the swearing and then we'll just move on to the next sentence, and then he still says it anyway.
Nice.
That was good. But yeah, so episode 4 was
I don't know that we have to take it necessarily episode by episode unless you want to.
I kind of do, just because
okay.
We got to do that with the first 3 episodes. Which, man, we really did get behind because we were going to do it episode by episode. Let's see. Let me pull it up. Episode 4 was You Were My Hero. Oh, yeah. Okay. The first date.
The first date.
Happy Mark and Eve got together. That was a slog. 2 seasons of Amber was not as fun as a few issues. Like what was it, 20-ish? I don't remember how many issues with Amber in the comics. She wasn't a big character in the comics. They made her bigger in the show.
Oh yeah.
And I
think I said it before. I'm happy to see Amber de-emphasized. She shows up within these 4 episodes, this little 4-episode run here, but it's short and sweet and gone.
Yeah,
and that was absolutely appropriate.
Yeah, I needed it. We needed a break from Amber
for sure.
But yeah, Happy Mark and Eve got together. I was shocked by what they did with the Immortal. Not because I didn't know they were going to do that, but because of how much they revealed to the audience about some of the stuff from the comics, even though they didn't go super in depth. So,
okay.
But I don't remember what all you remember from that episode. So,
well, I mean, obviously Mark and Eve try to go on dates. Yeah. He's late to the first date. He's late to the second date, and he gets kidnapped on the second date and taken to the future by none other than Miguel from Cobra Kai.
Was that Zolo? Was it?
Dropkick is played by Miguel from Cobra Kai.
All right, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
the cast in this series though is just insane.
They do a great job. They do a great job casting, and he plays him. And it's funny because this is the way the season started, was with Dropkick and the other guy, Fight Master.
Yeah,
Dropkick and Fight Master stealing the Declaration of Independence
to make bullets so they could shoot Immortal.
Yeah, and multiple. Involved there, and it was interesting because they come off as like third-rate bad guys who happen to get away because of multiple. So we get to see what they were actually trying to do. There was an actual story behind their appearance. It wasn't just a fun way to open the show.
No, yeah, I love the setup and payoff in the series, especially with well, again, yeah, okay, maybe not. I won't go into detail because I don't know what will be spoilery and what won't be. Comics-wise.
We're spoiling the show.
We are spoiling the show. That is fair. I just don't want to ruin like anything past because we've only reached issue 60 in the comics. I don't want to go anywhere past that.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of funny to me that they acted like they were just going to go to the future without him. They were like, oh, I thought that line was going to work. Try to guilt him into going. And so it makes Mark let his guard down, and then they just kidnap him and take him to the future, and he's screwed. It's either help them or stay in the future forever.
Well, and I love Eve's reaction when they're about to kiss, where she's just like, oh. He's like, oh, was it that bad? Or did I read that wrong?
Yeah.
And she's just like, no, but please tell me that's not a portal opening up next to us.
Right. Right. No, it does seem like that they're kind of making fun of it, the superhero trope of superheroes never getting to have normal lives and date. And they play it pretty funny. As far as Mark going and helping these guys, he does eventually help them. You don't expect it to be, like you said,
the Immortal. Yeah.
The Immortal.
Well, and again,
who's kind of gone crazy.
I had expected it from the comics, but what I didn't expect is just how much of the dialogue they would like allow him to say. Like just straight up telling the emperor or telling the audience that like Mark and his family live as long as they do, and there's some things that just happens like that he talks about that are straight up spoilers for later issues in the comics.
Okay.
So I'm just like, that's crazy that we're teasing all that now. But I also realize we're on season 3 of 8, probably, maybe 10. But that was another thing. Like I didn't realize how like far we were at this point. Because Mark's only 19 still. And he's already done so much that I completely forgot about, like in reading. And then when I watched it, I was like, oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's mostly what this episode is. It's all set up for future stuff.
Especially the back end of the episode, which we still have not gotten into. This is just set up with no payoff yet. I guess it's going to pay off in the final episode, but even up into the penultimate episode, there's no payoff. The back end of episode 4, it's funny when they do this because they make it seem like it's a post-credit scene.
Oh, Alan?
But it's not really a post-credit scene. Yeah, when Alan finally convinces Nolan to fight back. Omni-Man is gonna come back.
So I'm gonna go ahead and make a prediction that they are not involved in the next episode, maybe, but I'm pretty sure they're saved off for season 4 or the next episode's post-credit scene. But I love when Alan's like he finally gets like Nolan to be like admit that they're friends. It's so funny. And Seth Rogen sells that role. Like I know you don't like him.
Like Seth Rogen, but I do like him in this role. I do like him as this character. Kind of the same way we talked about David Harbour. And I really am not a David Harbour fan in anything. Stranger Things.
That's crazy.
Black Widow. I'm not a David Harbour fan in anything except Creature Commandos, where he plays Frankenstein.
See,
it's the same way here with Seth Rogen. I can't name one role that Seth Rogen plays that I'm just like, yes, I love that guy. It's awesome.
The Interview.
But I do enjoy him in this episode playing Alan. That Alan is the right character for him.
Oh yeah.
And I like what they do with Alan. Like he's so super powerful, but he's not really arrogant or he's also not really stupid.
No, but he's not going to kill you.
Yeah.
Well,
no, he's a good character and he sees the good that Nolan can be and he's trying to restore that relationship with Nolan and with Mark so that they can protect Earth and other planets from the Viltrumites. There was something that was revealed in this little scene that up until now, 3 seasons in, was not clear.
You mean the full-blooded Viltrumites?
That Nolan says there are only less than 50 full-blooded Viltrumites in the galaxy or in the universe.
Yeah, so there's a Jon Snow reveal coming. I will say that there is a Jon Snow reveal coming.
Okay.
Style reveal coming. I won't tell you what it is though. It's a good reveal. But as far as the full-blooded thing, that's going to be a plot point next season. I already know that because following Conquest, there is, without getting to spoiler territory, they do deal with needing to breed more so that they can have more of their empire spread. One of the things I don't know if you noticed was the charge that he got for what was it? Unauthorized breeding.
Breeding.
Yes. Yeah.
With an inferior race.
Yes. That is going to be a plot line going forward. So that does come up.
Interesting.
In a really messed up way. But yeah, so that is going to be expanded upon at some point. Because that does happen for a little bit. Anissa will not come back this season, but she should be coming back next season as well. She's the Viltrumite from last season at the very end.
Mark's future wife.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Oh God. No.
Okay. And that's really all that happened. Episode 4. The other thing that happened in episode 4 really was just every parent's nightmare of Mark's mom finding out that Mark and and Eve are having sex.
Oh no, that's the next episode.
Well, no, she finds out.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. She does find out in that episode, and then yeah. Oh, there was one more thing. Ray and Rex's ongoing love story.
I mean, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's cool that they do address those two characters because one was raised by parents that like forced her to be a superhero, and the other one was sold by his parents to also be forced to be a superhero. So,
well, I gotta say, I loved the next episode, episode 5, because I love something that they did with Mark in this episode. Mark, for the most part, has been that child with very black and white understanding of the world. Very much a I'm the good guy because I don't kill.
yeah.
And if you kill, you're a bad guy, and there is no room for gray areas in any way. And in episode 5, I love what they do with him, with Titan, and with the dragon guy. I can't remember his name.
Yeah. I love that he keeps falling for Titan's crap, even though because Titan is being honest.
But I don't think Titan's thing is crap. I think he's right.
Well, no, I don't mean it like that. I mean, like he keeps falling for any time that Titan's like, I need your help. Like he immediately falls for it, but it's just because Titan knows how to utilize him. But at the same time, Titan's also right most of the time. So it's like, it works.
Yeah. So Titan really isn't your typical bad guy. He is not a good guy either, really. But he is in that gray area of kind of the same way that Luke Cage ends.
Yeah.
Where I am the piece that this area needs, but I'm not necessarily a good guy.
Yep. I like how long we get to spend on him and his daughter for a bit, just to like see how he's improved the city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like you can actually see that he's actually making it work. Just that, the order is like, no, yeah, like you still work for us, which, I like how that ends too. I like that he does break out I swear his head was taken off though. Like I swear during the first season, he was shut off by the GDA. He wasn't put in prison. They had like taken to look at
I don't remember. Honestly, I have to go back to that.
Yeah, I'd have to go. I have it too because I don't remember I don't remember him going to prison, but maybe it's just because it had been. I mean, that was 2021. Yeah. At this point, so it's just been like 5 years. So it's just like, yeah.
But I mean, again, just there's not a ton to this episode.
Invincible Inc. will become.
Invincible Inc. is part of the episode, and that's how Mark ends up fighting the dragon.
Yeah.
Mark and Eve decide to get an apartment together, and that way they can not worry about his mom walking in on them after the last episode. But then they're like, how do we pay for this? And she's like, what if we offer your services to a prison? And when there's a prison break, they can call you and you can put a stop to it. And that's actually
clever,
semi-brilliant idea.
Only issue is, in my opinion, how do you get paid without revealing your identity to someone? I mean, you have to put it in a bank account under someone's name.
No, the business name. She creates a business account at a bank. Okay. Invincible Inc. is the business name.
Yeah.
So the business has an account in a bank, and she's representing herself. He's not coming in and saying, hi, I'm Mark Grayson.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll make sure she represents the company, not him. So then it doesn't give it away.
Oh, that's fair. Okay.
No, it's a great idea. And the fact that they're doing it on retainer. So we'll pay you, but hopefully you never have to show up. But if we need you, you will show up.
Yeah.
Kind of how a retainer works.
I'm wondering how much it gets paid for that. They didn't reveal that part.
3 to 4 months rent. So it would be like $3,000 or $4,000
a month.
That one payment was $3,000 or $4,000. So yeah.
Huh. Okay.
So not a terrible gig for him for not finishing college. And I mean,
although he probably could have taken some business classes. That probably would have helped.
yeah, I mean, he's fortunate that she's very smart. So
yeah, I mean, other than that, I guess
and we got to see Titan's life. We got to see Mr. Liu.
I'm trying to remember, is the Oliver with the kids thing in this episode, or is that the next one? I think it's this one.
I think it is this one.
Yeah, where he's like, he actually gets to be a kid, and Mark's like worried that he's going to use his powers and like hurt people.
Yeah, so I was worried he was going to kill the bullies, and Mark was too, because he balls up his fist.
Yeah,
and they left that conversation with his mom like, yeah, I know what Dad did was wrong, and she's like, no, you have to mean it, and he goes, I do mean it, and you could tell that he didn't mean it, like he still thinks his dad was right, and so then. You see him with these kids and they start to bully him and his friends, and he balls up his fist, and you just know he's going to fly punch through their stomach. And Mark did too, because Mark got all nervous. Like, I'm going to have to go down there and stop him before he kills these 3 kids. And then he pants them all.
Yeah. Well, like, it's crazy because I have a feeling that he knew he was there. Viltrumites have super hearing. So like, there's the possibility that maybe he knew that Mark was there and decided not to do anything, but you never know. I do think he's a good. He did say in episode 7 that he has learned to care, though.
Well, he's been an irritant to me up until episode 7.
He gets better.
No, he's been an irritant up until episode 7, and he finally listens a couple of times when they're flying to Chicago. He listens and gets back in the car.
That's episode 6.
Well, I'm just saying through episode 7, he has gotten better about not being just an annoying brat that I didn't want to watch and wish that he would die off. Like, in my opinion, I wish they would kill Oliver and then make Mark face those repercussions versus have to put up with Oliver's personality. I can't stand him. Can't stand. But he's been better in this run of 4 episodes. He's been a lot better, a lot easier to deal with. We did see Titan was able to manipulate Mark. The dragon helped, and it looked like he died, but he didn't. Mr. Liu looked like he died, but he didn't. And also Multipole looked like he was captured, but he wasn't.
No. But I do. I am excited to see where they go with those, because the fun smaller stories are what make up most of the show.
Yeah, well, with Machine Head taking back over the order, you have to wonder what they're going to do with Mr. Liu versus Machine Head, because that's going to be a battle of villains against each other that's somehow going to involve the heroes.
Well, I'm curious because Titan is in Chicago, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So this is the second time Chicago's been destroyed. How does he deal with that? Like, I want to know that. Like, that's because he's making it better, but like so far every season Chicago's gotten destroyed.
Yeah.
So, but then, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much that for that episode. I mean, there's not much else to talk about it there.
No, yeah, it definitely wasn't as packed as some of the other episodes have been.
The open. Well, no, was that episode 3? Was it the? No, yeah, that was episode 3. Never mind.
So then we've got Powerplex.
Then Powerplex. Yep, that was a hard episode to watch.
I got to be honest with you. I watched the post credit of episode 4 with Alan and Nolan.
Yeah.
And then I listened all the way through episode 5, and Oliver talking about, well, can't people forgive Dad? And blah, blah, blah. And I looked at the episode name for episode 6 was All I Can Say Is I'm Sorry. And in my head, I just knew this is where Nolan shows back up, and nobody wants to accept him back, Mark or anybody. And he's like, all I can do is say I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I expected to happen in the episode. And it didn't. It was actually Mark who that's all he can do is say, I mean, I was trying to help people. All I can do is say, I'm sorry about the loss of your sister and your niece. But Powerplex was a much more complicated character than I thought he would be.
Aaron Paul nailed that role. Like I don't know. That was hard to listen to. Cause part of it is you have to watch Breaking Bad.
I mean, I've seen him in other stuff. He's in a lot of things.
Well, Breaking Bad, he has like mental breakdowns in that show. Like
that's a character that he is. That's like his typecast.
Oh, well, he goes through that. He goes through a lot in that show. So when I'm listening to this, I'm like, because I watched also BoJack Horseman where he got to be a more fun character. And here, I mean, he's just back to like, it's hard to listen to him like cry because like he's actually doing it and like it hurts to listen to. But yeah, I mean the love that he's trying to get. I mean, even though he's not doing it, he's going after, first of all, the wrong person because it should be like obviously Nolan's not there, but
it's kind of crazy to me that he can't accept that Mark was trying to help. He blames Mark for the whole thing, but they show him multiple times during the episode watching videos of stuff happen, including watching Omni-Man hold Invincible up in the subway for the train to run through him.
Yeah.
And he's like, how do we know? He literally is saying like, how do we know that he was actually even trying to stop Omni-Man? But he's watching a video of Omni-Man trying to kill Invincible.
Oh no! Well, the train was to show Mark that life is meaningless.
Well, I know. I know, but it's part of the overall fight where he basically tries to kill him. He's watching it happen, and he's still in his head can't see that Mark was trying to protect all of you.
Yeah,
you know, he still blames Mark, and I get it to some extent. This is kind of like the what was it, Dawn of Justice?
Yeah, it's kind of the take where Batman he should know that Superman didn't mean to destroy Metropolis and kill people,
right?
But it's like everything he sees is so jaded just because he doesn't trust him. It's a guy who's basically playing God. I think this show does it better.
I agree. I think he does it better.
I think this show does it way better just because Batman doesn't kill people. It's not his character. And also this character didn't kill anybody until the very end. But you also have more of an emotional attachment here. In Dawn of Justice, they just killed some random guy and then made Bruce sympathize with this random guy that you don't even know.
Right.
If it had been Alfred in that building, I think it would have been like, whoa, okay, you killed Alfred. That's crazy. But here, I mean, part of the emotional attachment is you see his sister and his daughter and his niece die in episode 8. You didn't know who they were, but then when you come back to this episode, now you do. And you're able to go, oh, wow. Oh, okay. Well, that hurts. Like,
and there is something to be said about the people that you surround yourself with because of this episode, because in a lot of cases, I think that you could be surrounded with somebody who tells you, you know, what happened was bad, but in the grand scheme of things, we have to move on for our loved ones and you know, cherish their memories and whatever. What he's got is a wife who's egging him on. Yeah, he's got a wife who's like, we've got to. It was almost creepy how much she wanted to avenge them.
Yeah, it's like almost Vanessa Fisk from Daredevil,
kind of
where she would go. Like Kingpin later seasons.
She would goad him. Yeah. It was the same thing. She's pushing him on. Like, well, you've got to. And he's like, okay, I've lost. I'm going to be captured. I just should give up. And she's like, no, remember, we've got another chance coming. No, you can still get him. And it's like, whoa.
Yeah, I love that the obsession to like. Well, I hate it, but I love that they show that the obsession of it has kind of mentally stunted their treatment of their kid. It's like they kind of just forget that they have a kid. Like
Until he
sometimes.
starts crying.
Yeah, and then that makes the ending so much harder. I don't know, did you because it's she pushes it so far that she's like, pretend that you kidnapped us.
Yeah, yes, she does that, and then on top of that, like he loses it, like he's beaten,
Yeah,
and he loses it so bad. He's so angry because there's two things that increase his power. It's kinetic,
yeah.
or his anger.
Well, so he gains power by the kinetic energy, and then he outputs that power based on his emotions.
And he lost his emotional stability the little bit that he had to the point of killing his own wife and son, which is hard to watch, but I find it admirable on the show that they can do hard things, especially in a show where it seems like nobody can die. They do occasionally do something like that where there's a meaningful loss that actually carries some weight.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's so messed up in the head that the weight that was carried is now I blame Invincible for driving me to the point of killing my own wife and son.
Yeah, he can't even see.
Can't even process that his anger is what did that.
Yeah, the obsession of trying to get him to fight.
Yes,
is what caused that. Like, I mean, how many times did he say, "I'm going to get these people out of here, and then I'll fight you," or "I'll take care of this in a minute. Let me help them." Like, you're taking this too far. Like, he tried so hard to de-escalate, and then the whole stopping him with a hug that was rough. Like after his family dies, then he goes and actually loses his, yeah, and then he goes up to give him a hug, and that,
yeah.
and then in the jail cell, he still can't he's like, you think there, I find comfort in you feeling bad now.
Right.
Like, what else do you want from him? Like, it's
right.
not
And that's the name of the episode.
Yeah. All I can say is, I'm sorry. Yeah.
All I can say is I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's just like, it's crazy.
And that brings us to the penultimate episode of the season.
I'm shocked that they didn't call it the Invincible War, but it is an adaptation of the Invincible War.
I'm shocked that it is running that it ran so quickly that it happened all in one episode.
Oh, it's even shorter in the comics. It's only one issue long.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I see that in the same way that I fault Marvel for having Age of Ultron. And it's not really an age, it's a 2-hour movie.
So the reason it's so short is because in the comics, it was a major crossover issue of all the Image Comics characters, which is kind of why I'm so disappointed with it. We did see Tech Jacket. You don't know who that is yet, but he is going to become important later. And he is a crossover character. And that's why I was like, maybe they'll give him his own show, because they've already done that with a couple other things, and it is an Image Comics character. Spawn also appeared in the comic, fighting that wolf guy that was getting thrown down. Yeah, that was originally Spawn. That's why I was like, oh, they replaced him, which I kind of figured they would, because they would have to go to Todd McFarlane to be like, hey, can we use Spawn for Image Comics? Because the creator of the way in Image Comics works, it's creator owned characters, not the Image Comics owns the characters and then different writers come in and write the characters. It's all owned by the creator. So Todd McFarlane owns Spawn. He owns Robert Kirkman owns The Walking Dead and Invincible, and Tech Jacket's owned by someone else. So they have to go in and communicate with each other to do these crossovers. It's a lot more complicated than just going, oh, hey, we're working with Marvel, so we can just throw Spider-Man in an episode just because why not? So that is the unfortunate consequence of this being an Amazon produced TV show and not something done directly from Image Comics themselves. That the they can't do as many crossovers. So that part of the issue is completely removed basically from the show. But the other reason it's so short is because it is issue 60. So we're about to hit more of the Viltrumite stuff. This was to get the world kind of against Mark for later stuff going forward. Because once we reach a certain point, it goes pretty much cosmic. Like you leave Earth for a while. So I'm not sure when they're going to adapt that or how they're going to adapt that, but that is an eventual thing that will happen.
Well, it didn't seem like the Earth turned against Mark. It seemed like everybody was very clear that it wasn't Mark and that he was still trying to save everyone. Right up to the point that Powerplex got out again
and tried to convince everyone.
And tried to tell everyone. But even then, I mean, people gave him kind of a side eye, but not so much like we still hate you. They just look differently at him.
Give the next episode. Wait to see what happens after the next episode. We'll see what they do.
Yeah.
That's the only disappointing thing with it really is that like the crossovers didn't get to happen as much. But it's still good. I do like the amount of effort they put into Stephen Yeun playing. Was it 18 different versions of Mark?
They said 18. I don't think I think we saw 18. I don't think we heard 18.
Yeah. So he played roughly maybe 10 versions of
Probably
Mark.
10.
And each one is so different. And I love that they actually get a moment so you can be like you can actually hear what some of these characters did on their Earths.
Yeah.
Like the one where like he's like, I'm just here for my mom. Man.
I didn't kill my mom on my Earth.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're just a little mom. He's like each character having such different personalities. Even one of them was like, I killed my dad, but he's wearing his colors.
Yeah.
Or no, wait, was it it was either the yellow. I think it was the yellow and black one that killed his dad. I don't know which one, but so many of them just had different alternate. And I love that they put the effort to do that because they didn't necessarily have to do that. They weren't going to be there long enough for that to matter. But I do like that was what they did. That's not the end of the multiverse stuff, though.
I didn't figure it was. Because he's still alive. Langston's still alive. I'm not sure that I love the Langston part of the story that much.
Angstrom,
yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Angstrom. I'm not sure I love his part of the story so much. There's so much of the show that I do love.
Yeah.
And his side of the show is...
it gets more interesting as he has a couple more reoccurrences in the comics, and each one is more interesting to the last. The Invincible War is probably the most devastating thing he does.
Yeah.
Just because of how much he actually messes up and how many characters are permanently gone.
Yeah.
And I don't...
are any permanently gone?
Rex is
permanently gone.
Dead. Well, at least from a comic perspective, he's dead. You remember the future episode so the final episode of season 2, the future group of the Guardians come in and save Mark, and you see Rex robot, and it's Rex and a robot. Yeah, that's not Rex. That is robot. He took his DNA back in season 1. He just grew up to be an adult. So, but I didn't say anything about that at the time because that would reveal that Rex dies.
Well, I mean, all that to say, Rex dies and nobody else, like Immortal gets his head chopped off and lives. The stretchy Fantastic Four guy gets stretched out and cut open, but lives. Did anybody else meaningful to the show actually die? I don't think so.
No, but we're getting there.
So
we're getting there. There will be some more permanent deaths going forward. I'm pretty positive. Yeah.
It just seems like there's always a recovery for everyone.
Well, for certain characters there
for
are.
Duplicate. It turns out her one body was actually never around anybody. It was off hidden somewhere.
She keeps an extra.
Of course she did.
Well, she can duplicate.
For Immortal, as long as they can reattach his head, it'll grow back together and he'll come back to life. For
What, Donald? Are you gonna do
Donald,
next?
for Donald, he's basically just the Terminator with skin.
So he's actually a take on
Terminator.
not Terminator. What's the RoboCop? He's supposed to be RoboCop.
So Terminator, same thing.
Um,
For Mark, he's literally been shattered to bits and put back together.
You have not seen anything yet.
And I mean, but I'm just saying, like, nobody dies in this show.
The only real character with the most amount of plot armor, other than
Immortal,
is probably Adam Eve. But I won't tell you why or how.
because she can just disassemble her body into atoms and reassemble it all fixed.
No.
So
I won't.
there was one thing that was kind of fun, just a fun 1 minute blurb that happens. The young male character who is Robot, I think.
Yeah.
The long hair.
You talking about?
Yeah.
And he's Monster's girlfriend. Yeah, Robot.
Monster's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Making the belt so that she can continue to age.
Oh, that was episodes ago. We've completely forgot it. Yeah.
No, it just happened.
No,
It's
that-
episode 6, I think.
that was episode 6. That's what I was saying.
Episode 6. He made the belt so that she can continue to age instead of constantly being de-aged to a little girl again.
I love that his reaction, because he's learned to be more empathetic.
And so he's like, I'm not trying to change you. You don't ever have to wear this thing. And she is so excited to be able to grow up.
Yeah.
That she hugs him and is like, thank you so much for letting me be able to grow up.
We're hitting a point where next season should be really crazy, involving Robot and Cecil. We were speaking on permanent deaths. We should, not gonna spoil anything, but I don't think Cecil's gonna last maybe another season or two.
Well, he's a loser, so that's fine.
Come on, he's not that bad.
He's Amanda Waller, 100% Amanda
He is,
Waller.
but I think he's better just because at least he can openly admit it. I feel like Amanda Waller will lie to your face, continually lie to your face, and then just... And in fact, I did see something. The only issue that I really have with Cecil is that Mark would have agreed to everything that they did at the beginning of the season had he just asked him and been honest.
I don't think he would have agreed to the dead people.
Maybe not the robots. That is fair. But the implant in the back of his head. If he had asked Mark,
No, that is a funny thing that you bring that up. At the end of episode 3,
yeah,
everybody leaves.
yes,
Everybody's like, I'm out of here. We're not working for you, blah, blah, blah. And Mark leaves. And when Mark leaves, he turns to the robot and he says, get this thing out of me.
yeah,
It's still there in episode 4.
no,
Yes.
No,
Mark comes blowing through the Pentagon.
No, it's not in his neck anymore. What they did is they improved the sound systems of the Pentagon so that it just shoots that high frequency noise out instead of having to rely on a device in the back of his neck.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that. And so I'm watching. I'm like, I could have swore just an episode ago he said, get this thing out of me.
No.
And here he is on the ground writhing in pain again at the push of a button.
Yeah. So
it wasn't really clearly spelled out how that happened.
yeah, it was the speakers. That's why when in this episode, in episode 7, when they're in the GDA and you see the dead Mark, he has he just activated the one and then sent the robots after him.
Gotcha.
Why am I forgetting what they're called? That's what's bugging.
I don't remember.
Reanimate.
Reanimate, yeah. Because they're all dead. They're all made from dead people.
Yeah. So
Mark wouldn't have agreed to that no matter what.
I don't think
Darkwing.
I don't think you would have agreed with the Reanimate. If Mark had seen the improvement of Darkwing, I think he might be on board just because he's already seen his dad improve. He knows that Earth probably won't accept his dad back right away, but he has seen he defends his dad. So I do think if he had seen the growth of Darkwing and had been asked to trust him, not just, Darkwing's a part of the team now. If that wasn't just thrust upon him, if he actually got to know him as a person and they got to fix.
Yeah, that's how things work in real life too.
Yes, that's how things work. And yes, people
really.
change all the time.
And a lot of people don't accept it.
Some people do, some people don't. But I do think Mark would have been accepting of it. He's accepted his dad back. Why wouldn't he accept some other guy?
I don't know.
I'm
not sure that I think it would happen that way.
It should have been a conversation. Now
I don't accept what you're saying right now.
But the reanimate, absolutely, I do agree. I don't think he would have agreed to that just because of how messed up that is. Well,
first of all, it's messed up to begin with, but also it affected one of his close friends.
Yeah. The only thing I'm like,
I think there's no forgiving.
I don't think anyone would do that. I don't think the government would ever allow anyone to go, because what they're doing now is they're taking soldiers' corpses and like corpses that were like given away.
I get it.
And then, reanimating them. I don't think anyone would allow for that, even if we had the technology. I think that's just too far. So that to me would be like, just from a normal person's standpoint, like that would make me go, we're allowing our government to do that.
You don't think our government would do that with or without people's permission if they can?
I think we would have a bigger problem with it. I think it would last.
I think
very
they
long.
absolutely would do that behind our country's back.
That would be so messed up. I don't believe they would, but I would. That's maybe me being Mark in the situation, thinking things are black and white, not gray.
I didn't say it'd be okay with it. I'm just saying there's a lot of things I think our government does behind our backs. Yeah. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if they were trying to reanimate soldiers so they could send them out to fight. None of that would surprise me.
So
no Frankensteining here would surprise me. So I think they have cloning projects going on we have no knowledge of whatsoever. And I'm not even a conspiracy theorist, really.
Oh, that's been proven. We do have cloning projects in the process.
But those cloning projects that are illegal because you're not allowed to clone humans, I think it's going on anyway. I think it's going on under the radar.
Well, I think it's only illegal because it's not government funded.
No, it is government funded. That's what I'm saying. I think our government is funding that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. That's possible.
I think that stuff goes on. And so would it be beyond the scope of imagination that the government's trying to reanimate dead corpses? No, it is not beyond the possibilities.
I guess the idea would be, would you agree? Like if the government came to you and said, we want you to work for you, or what you want you to work for us, and then you found out that was happening, would you?
I wouldn't want to be a part of that. But I've already said, if the government said to me, we want to draft you, and I have this whole half leg missing over here.
Yeah.
But if they said you have to join the military, I'd be like, just let me fly drones, baby. I would fly drones today for the military. I would have no problem with it whatsoever. I would shoot aliens out of the sky. I'd shoot terrorists off the ground. I don't even care. You want me to join the military? Just give me a drone. I'm down. But that being said, that was...
We're not done.
Yeah.
We're not done.
What?
Conquest.
Oh, yes. Okay. How the episode finishes.
Yeah. No. Well, first of all,
I mean, they get no breaks. It seems like Mark never gets a break.
He
doesn't get 5 seconds to
from the second he turned 18, his life was over.
He doesn't get 5 seconds to be just a teenager or a young adult. He basically saves the world from 18 versions of himself, and a Viltrumite shows up.
Yep. Yeah, Conquest is going to be interesting.
Wearing an Infinity Gauntlet.
It's not an Infinity Gauntlet.
I know. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah.
Big gold glove on his hand.
I think because there are a lot of characters that are just like straight up inspired by or ripped off of other characters.
And he's built like Thanos.
So I do think maybe they did use that for inspiration. But he is... Yeah.
But there were no gems on it. You're right. It's not an Infinity Gauntlet.
It's a robot arm.
Okay.
He has an arm replaced. Pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah. He's let's just say the next episode is gonna hurt a lot. Oh, like a lot. Like it's probably gonna be the goriest episode so far.
Oh well, when they broke Eve's ankle. That was pretty gory and hurt a lot.
How about literally watching a deformed Angstrom Leffy opening a portal and crawling through it with his head just completely smashed.
That was
it.
nasty.
That was so gross.
That was nasty. This show can be nasty.
This show, it's effective though.
Yeah, no, it's good. But again, another person who can't die. So dumb. Like his head was flattened. It was just brains and mush and blood and eyeballs laying on the ground, and somehow he's still alive.
Well, his brain wasn't completely smashed, obviously.
It was flattened.
And his brain was still active. His heart was still beating. So therefore...
If you watched old Looney Tunes...
Yeah.
And you see the road flattener... And the Roadrunner's running, and the Wile E. Coyote tries to roll this thing over the Roadrunner, and instead it rolls over Wile E. Coyote, and he is flat like paper. That's what Angstrom's head looked like. It was flattened on the ground. And then suddenly he's still alive.
Yeah. It happens.
Okay. Because nobody dies in the show permanently except apparently Rex.
Unfortunately, Rex had grown so much. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping they do kind of. I know that in the comics he died during the Invincible War, but I kind of hope he's not.
You know the best part of Game of Thrones that people actually died. There were stakes.
People actually die in Invincible all the time.
I don't mean citizens. I mean actual characters.
Yeah, characters do die.
Who?
So far, we had the original Guardians of the Globe are still dead. They're pretty much all legacy characters.
Matter to begin with.
They're pretty much all legacy characters at this point on Guardians of the Globe. Just because the Immortal can't die, Kate can die, and as we heard in episode 4, does die. So that is coming. Like,
I'm just saying.
And then on top of that, Rex has died. Who else? Darkwing is presumed dead, but I'm pretty sure he's not.
He went through a portal. He didn't die.
He's presumed dead.
I know, but he didn't die. He went through a portal and disappeared. Like, oh, he died.
He's most likely not dead. But the thing is that we're still in that kind of like, even though he's wearing the blue suit, we're still in the golden age version of Invincible, where it's like
there's no stakes
yet.
I'm just saying, there's no stakes, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm still very, very pleased with the show. It might be the best animated superhero thing on television right now. I can't think of another animated thing on television that really matches it.
I can't even think of live action that really matches. Like, The Boys started really, really good.
To be fair, The Boys was probably as good as this in season 1.
This was
in season 1,
so good,
and then it was just like, how far can we push the envelope? Where this doesn't seem to be straying from its mission for the sake of pushing the envelope. It does do some gory things, but it stays within the context of the show as it has been for all 3 seasons. Where The Boys, it seems like they were like, oh, season 1, we could do this. Season 2, how much worse can we make it? Season 3, let's see if we can destroy everybody's sense of morality. And it just gets worse and worse and worse.
Just, yeah.
On purpose. And I think
want to see the final season in possibly a movie if they go for it.
I mean, we'll watch it. We'll probably discuss it, but I don't think it's as good as Invincible. I think it was in season 1. I don't think it is anymore.
I think part of the problem is that they didn't reveal the superpower drug for normal people until season 3 or 4. Was it 3?
I don't know.
But because it started to feel like that the boys could just get away and survive. Like you talk about how there's no stakes in this show. The boys are just normal people, and they survived Homelander like 20 times already.
Well, I mean,
like there's a couple
that have protection
now. Like back in season 2, they probably should have all died. Like that's
no, because the kid's mom was
Becca?
Becca was the protection for what's his name?
For Butcher, but not for everybody else.
Yeah.
He could have killed Huey anytime.
I mean, he could have.
How many times? Like, Starlight wasn't there. Like, Starlight can't do anything against Homelander.
Yes, she can.
Not really.
Yes, she can. I mean, Homelander and her went toe to toe at one point, and she was like, "I'm not afraid of you. Try to kill me. Go ahead. I know who you are."
Yeah, but
like she was never. She's not scared to fight him. She's not scared to lose.
yeah. The thing is, though, it doesn't matter because he can go and hurt her in other ways. It wouldn't mean anything.
Not anymore. Not now that she's not with Vought. But we're way off topic.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
That's fair.
That show is not as good as Invincible. It definitely strayed from where we were. I'm really excited. This was the penultimate episode. We're gonna do a reaction to the final episode next week. We'll do a reaction to the final episode next week, probably right after we watch it. Part of the many things we have coming. Like I said, we're in a new studio. We know we're behind on talking about some things, but we're excited to get some new news out. We're excited to get some reviews out. And most of all, we're excited to hear from you guys. Like, share, subscribe, follow us, ding the notification bell so you know when new episodes are coming, because they're going to be coming probably fast and furious over the next few weeks.
Whoa, Vin Diesel, come on.
I do have a bald head.
Yeah.
But yeah, fast and furious over the next few weeks, trying to get episodes out and make sure that we catch up with you and get back on track for what we're trying to do. And in the meantime, send us an email at capes.cowls.convos@outlook.com, or leave a comment on any of the different providers where you listen to podcasts. We're everywhere: Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube. And with that, I think
Prepare for my arrival, worm.